right. Hello and welcome everyone to, what is this? Episode 54 of the Janus Motorcycles Ramblestream with yours truly, Richard Worsham, founder and designer here. I am, as usual, broadcasting from or as usual in recent months, from our fabrication shop at we call TT, a little south of our main headquarters in Goshen, Indiana. Let's take a look and see if you all can hear me. If you can't, let me know. It's been a little bit, 2 weeks since our last Ramblestream. It's good to be back. It's good to be, I will probably be sticking a little closer to home in the coming months, so we'll probably be able to do some more regular ramble streaming, and I'm looking forward to that, as well as just not traveling for a little bit. It's been fun. I'm not complaining, but it's also difficult to maintain a schedule and all the routine. How about that? The routine that is, I find, really essential to getting work done and surviving. So, yeah. If you're new to the stream, welcome. If you are an old hand, you already know the drill. I can see already from the comments. But what we do here is we don't necessarily have a strict program. Well, don't necessarily. We never have a strict program. It always rambles. But the one thing that is kind of formulaic about it is that you're not required to comment here on this ramble stream, but if you would like to do so, I would encourage you to. And all you have to do is comment on the we're broadcasting right now to YouTube and Instagram, and all you have to do is comment on the video and tell us your name or your online handle if you prefer to be anonymous, which is perfectly fine in my book. And what else? What do we do next? Your name or your handle, where you're viewing from, where you're viewing the Ramble stream from, what you are riding. Do you ride a Janus? If you ride a Janus, what is the model and displacement? And last but not least, tell us what you're sipping on. And so I'll go ahead and get started. As I've already mentioned, Richard Worsham here in Goshen, Indiana, at our fabrication shop, and I ride a Halcyon 250 number 68, which got some nice rambling in this last week, and I'm sipping on some Evan Williams and water in my Halcyon 450 cup. Cheers, Ramblers. Ooh, very good. Oh, by the way, did I say it? Yeah. Evan Williams. There you go. Bourbon. Okay, let's take a look at some comments. By the way, thank you all for letting me know the volume is good. I really appreciate that. Let's see. We've got 61 people on, and I haven't even really, 4 minutes in. That's great. Good to see you all. I mean that. It always is. First up, we have Riggy Alps. He says, I'm here super early. Yeah, he was here at 4:40. So definitely early. He says, I'm here super early, hoping I remember to come back in a couple of hours. It's just the beach is so tempting. I don't know if I'd be on the Ramble stream if there was a beach nearby. Kelly Chrisman says, anyone heard if Dan Radimski's okay? He lives near Asheville, North Carolina. And Dan says, hey, I'm alive and well, did a few days of volunteering until it looked like they had more volunteers than they needed. We were without power. Communications are open roads for a while. All good now. Well, that's really good to hear, Dan. I texted him a while back, or we were exchanging texts a while back, and it sounds like it's been pretty crazy down there. And I'm sure many others have had it far worse. So glad you're doing okay, Dan, and glad you're able to help out. Good to hear, says Kelly. Now I can breathe a little easier. Ramblers looking out for ramblers. We got Riggedy says, greetings, Rich, reporting in from North Beach area of Topsail Island, North Carolina. Halcyon 450 number 234, Cheyenne, and the 98 Harley Davidson Spirit are back home in Massachusetts. We took the e-bikes though, so we can island ramble. How is Topsail Island in North Carolina? Is it decimated right now, or what's it like down there? I'm sure it's interesting. Perry Ford's on. Hello, everyone. West Houston checking in. Enjoying 1554 Dark Ale from New Belgium Brewery. Very nice. Very nice. Good to see you, Perry. Bob. Hey, Bob. Bob Benson's on. Sturgis, South Dakota, sipping on a cherry Coke. Good to see you, Bob. By the way, I've been meaning to ask. Ever since we stayed with Bob out during Sturgis, and I have a fountain pen, and I haven't seen it since I got back from Sturgis. So if, Bob, by any chance you see a clear, it's clear like this, but it's not blue tinted fountain pen. It's a Lamy. It's very dear to my heart. I've had it for a very long time. So if you spot it in somewhere, let me know. I'd appreciate it. Charles says, hi, everyone. Charles McGaggan. Everyone checking in. I have to be somewhere, so I'll catch the rerun. Great. Sounds good. Good to see you. Thanks for checking in. Dave Husky, 250, Halcyon 250, number 138, in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Banquet beer. Nice. Dave Bowen. Hey, Dave. Sitting under the clouds on the left coast in Seattle with 450, number 41, and a Dead Guy Ale from Rogue Brewery. Cheers. Cheers to you, Dave. John Gorentz says, greetings all. My first time posting here. I just ordered my first Janus a couple of weeks ago. Halcyon 450, number 356. Congratulations, John. I also have a 1969 Harley Davidson FL. Whoa, a 1971 Rokon Trailbreaker. Cheers to you, John. The Janus is cooler, but the Rokon's cool. He's drinking Jim Beam and Coke. For those of y'all who don't know what a Rokon is a two-wheel drive, amazing. It's actually, I think it's one of the longest running production models, the Trailbreaker. They have some records. They've been making them for many years. They're currently, John, you can correct me, made in Vermont, I believe. Although they've been made in some different locations. There are these little, smaller bikes. They have super fat tires. And I think you can store water in the tires or something crazy. And then it has this unique system where it has a chain drive that comes off the headset down to the front wheel, so they can basically go anywhere. Really, really neat bikes. Very cool. Very cool. Well, congrats on the new 450, John. Good to hear, and good to see you on the Ramblestream. Felix brothers are on. Ahoy. Good to see you both. And then they Halcyon 450 and number 120 and number 121. I'm sure they're drinking a good Michigan beer. Pete Marino in Kentucky, number 156, has 52,000 miles and is getting a sidecar put on 28th of October. Very cool to hear. Very cool. Keep on racking up those miles. We've got Kelly says, welcome to the Janus family, John. Congrats on your Janus purchase. N8RAB, here's another ham radio operator on. He says, just back from a crisp 25-mile ride. Cyclefish says, wind chill 39. Yeah, it's pretty chilly out there. Kelly's going to sign in. Here we go. 450 number 236, Nashoba Holba, translation Coyote. 2013 Harley Davidson Ultra, 2006 Harley Davidson Heritage, sipping on an orange crush. Of course you do. Let's see. We got lots of comments, but I'm going to take a pause here, and we are going to. What I've been forgetting to do more of, and I need to do on the Ramblestream, is promote, shamelessly promote. The Rambler's Companion. This is a little book that I wrote and published this spring. And if you are a Rambler, You need one of these. This is really, well, let me just read on the back what I wrote about it. As our technological advances provide greater and greater convenience, safety, and efficiency, they have simultaneously impeded our ability to experience reality in the ways that have traditionally provided us with engagement, identity, and meaning. Even motorcyclists have become victims to this rising tide of features, power, and comfort. Today, smaller displacement, lightweight motorcycles are considered to be beginner or budget bikes for those who cannot handle or afford the larger, heavier, more technologically laden machines that have come to count as real motorcycles. A small cadre, that's you all, of riders remember the joys and benefits of lightweight, simple motorcycles and understand the immediacy that such machines enjoin. This little book seeks not for a Luddite rejection of modernity or of technology or a retro nostalgia for some imaginary past, but for a recalibration of a fully human approach to reality. The motorcycle, as a machine, is fully a product of the modern technological society, but has the unique capacity, among other machines, of amplifying our embodied capacities instead of taking away from our humanity. This book is not so much a handbook for motorcyclists as a defense of the purely subjective experience of riding. That experience holds the potential for transformation for anyone interested in uncovering the reasons we move, ride, or travel at all. Rambler's Companion, it's basically it's kind of the philosophy behind what we're doing here at Janus. And also a little bit of a handbook at the back. It has kind of a little bit of a guide for rambling. Very simple. It's not so much a how-to, it's just a kind of a resource. It's got some packing lists. It's got, what has it got? Tool lists and riding gear and camping gear for motorcycling. And then it has the last appendix is a pre-ride inspection list, which is basically the MSF T-Clocks list, which I've just adapted. Illustrations by yours truly, and it's a fun little book. It will be available on our website tomorrow. We're finally starting to carry them ourselves, and also it's available on Amazon. $10 or thereabouts. Okay, let's move on to our poetry, in which in this case will be a little bit of literature. I'll talk about this a little bit later on the stream, but I spent last week up in Michigan with my family. I got to spend time with brothers and nephews and parents, and my mother was reading to my nephew a great book that I grew up reading called The 21 Balloons by William Penne du Bois. I think written in the mid-40s. And it's a kind of a just wild children's book. Which if you haven't caught on, I love children's literature. It lends itself to rambling. But she was reading, she goes, I was reading this, and the first chapter is it's totally a description of rambling. So I thought we'd read a section of the first chapter. I don't know how much I'll actually read, but I thought you'd appreciate it. Yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll talk about it afterwards. I actually don't have, I think I actually do have a copy of the book on the bookshelf at home, but I was scrambling to get ready for my rambling, and I just printed it off. So part of chapter 1 of The 21 Balloons by William Penne du Bois. Chapter 1, or is it Pen? Pen. Must be Pen. It's not pronounced Penne. I've always said Penne, but Penne du Bois. William Penne du Bois. There are two kinds of travel. The usual way is to take the fastest imaginable conveyance along the shortest road. The other way is not to care particularly where you are going or how long it will take you, or whether you will get there or not. I should mention, I'm interrupting my reading here, but he was actually a fan of cars, vintage cars, and I think he restored an old Rolls Royce. This is back, in the 40s and 50s. The other way is to not care particularly where you are going or how long it will take you or whether you will get there or not. These two methods of travel are perhaps the easiest to be seen by watching hunting hounds. One hound will follow his nose directly to his prey. The other will follow his nose in a roundabout way to molehills, empty rabbit holes, garbage cans, and trees, and perhaps not pay any attention to his prey even when he happens upon it. This second way of getting around has always been pointed out as the nicest, for, as you can see in the case of the slower hunting hound, you're able to see more of what is going on in the world, and also how nature is getting along. Not long from now, in the atomic age, it is easy to imagine that travel will be tremendously fast. In order to travel, for example, from New York to Calcutta, you will simply have to walk into a station in New York, through one door into a room, beamed on to Calcutta, and at another door into the station in Calcutta, and then out into Calcutta's streets. It will take you no longer than it takes you to walk through any ordinary room, and you won't feel a thing. What will happen when you enter the room is that you'll be atomically broken down into a radio wave, transmitted by radio to Calcutta, and atomically restored upon being picked up by the radio receiver in Calcutta. The instant you are no longer in New York, you will be in Calcutta, in the same way as the instant a man's voice leaves a radio station, it can be picked up anywhere in the world. Travel to any capital in the world will be instantaneous, for once man discovers the deeper secrets of nature, time and space will stop being paired together. You will hear of miles, and you will hear of hours, but the expression miles per hour will be most old-fashioned. The best way of travel, however, if you aren't in any hurry at all, if you don't care where you're going, if you don't like to use your legs, if you want to see everything quite clearly, if you don't want to be annoyed at all by any choice of directions, is in a balloon. In a balloon, you can decide only when to start, and usually when to stop. The rest is left entirely to nature. How fast you will go and where is left to the winds. It is a wonderful way to travel, particularly if you want to travel from your home to school. You get up early in the morning with your school books, climb into the basket, look in the direction of the schoolhouse, untie the ropes, and fly off. On your way, many delightful things can happen, such as A, the wind will be calm and you'll never get to school. B, the wind will blow you in the wrong direction and take you 50 miles out into the country away from school. And C, you might decide to play hooky just once, and nobody can bother you in a balloon. Then, too, you might fly over a ballpark on the way and change your mind as you make a quick descent onto the roof of the grandstand. Or if you pass any lakes on the way to school, you can drop a line and do some fine fishing. Balloon travel is the best, particularly between home and school. I think I'll leave it right there. But it's actually a thought that has been going through my mind quite a bit about how balloon travel might be the most essential rambling activity that you possibly can imagine. Because, like he says, one of the only things that you can decide in ballooning is when you leave. You might be able to decide when you stop, but the direction, how far you go, where you go, is all up to chance. And that's kind of the rest of the story. Is fantastical, crazy adventures that the hero of the story, Professor William Waterman Sherman, encounters on his way. So there you have it. Ballooning, my next endeavor. I don't think so. It'd be fun to try it. I've never been in a balloon. Let's see. Let's look at some comments again. Kelly says, welcome to the family, John. Congrats on your Janus purchase. Yes. Oh, wait, I've already covered this stuff. Let's catch up here. Oh, Kelly says he's out of Winchester, Virginia. That's right. Keith Haywood says, number 706 in New York, sipping on Irish cream and vodka tonight. And Harrison, now I'm going to forget how to pronounce it, Monique, is from Richmond, Virginia, my hometown. He says, Halcyon 450 number 318 Mel in Richmond, drinking LaCroix. Good to see you. Scott Spence is on, up in Elkhart. He says, Halcyon 250 number 212 and Halcyon 450 number 178. Here from Elkhart, Indiana, sipping on rum and Coke. Good to see you, Scott. Jeff Massey, Halcyon 250 number 850. The Villages, Florida. Delay with 3 hurricanes in a row, and now it's time to ride it in the crisp autumn air. Saw a red Janus Halcyon 250 yesterday in the wild. Need to track him down. Great. I wonder if that would be... I wonder who that might be. I'm trying to... Jeff says he's drinking three fingers of Eagle Rare. Very nice. Very nice. Good bourbon. Be More, 450 number 43, Phoenix 47, and the best drink in the universe, clean water. Nice. Joel Yanda is on, Old Man 1, 450 218, and Griffin 450 number 1. Coming to you soon, Joel. Drinking black coffee straight up. Nice. Jeff says, what's a pirate's favorite letter? It's the love of the sea. Nice, nice. And we're starting a new, here we go, bad puns on the Ramblestream. Bad jokes. Be More, I know, so I won't answer. There we go. I just want to hear Richard say that joke. Well, you just heard it. Semtech, recent new owner, I remember from the last stream. He says, I'm John too, and I just got Halcyon 250 number 1148. I'm having an ice cold 7-Up. So what gear y'all using? Nice. Post up your responses. Be More says, lol, it's the sea we love. Barb Coos, hey, I'm back. Halcyon 450 number 278 in Salem, Oregon, sipping on coconut water. Good to see you, Barb. For my water, a tall glass. Nice, nice. Sorry, I have a dry sense of humor. Just add water. Nice. Jeff, oh, y'all are responding to my requests about the sound. Thank you all for letting me know. I always appreciate that. Thank you, Joel. Volume is a tad low. We missed you. I think it might be on your end. I've got it cranked here, so I can speak really close to the mic. I missed you all as well, Dan. Good to be back. Multifarious in Nebraska with Halcyon 250 number 1067 Kingfisher, having dinner and beverage. Nice. Gary Smith is on from East Lansing, Michigan. Halcyon 50 number 11, Halcyon 250 number 79, Halcyon 450 number 3, Phoenix 250 number 79, sipping on a Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Good to see you, Gary. Mick Langford, Winchester, Virginia, Halcyon 250 number 1093, Hank, sipping hot tea. Great. Steve Q, hello from Hurst, Texas, riding Halcyon 250 number 988 and 450 number 304, drinking root beer. If you haven't caught on, a lot of folks are good about mentioning the name of their bike, which I encourage everybody to do. I have yet to name 68, and it's just struggling. I gotta come up with a good name for it. We'll see. It'll happen. It'll happen. But thank you. It's really cool to see all y'all's names for your bikes. Halcyon 769 in New Hampshire, sipping on water. Jeff says, new thing I learned today. Steve McQueen was briefly married to Allie McGraw. Really? What? No. Not important too much, but Steve was a badass on the bike in The Great Escape. Yes, he was. And in other things. I didn't know that. Jeff says, cheers. Good to see y'all. Jordan Lake is on. Awesome. Jordan, we're going to be covering a little bit about the flat track and y'all's awesome performance this last weekend. Everybody, Jordan is the chassis and the bike guy for our flat track race bike, which just competed in Huntington Beach, California this last weekend and did very, very well. So I can't wait to share more information on that. And if Jordan, if you're still on as we're covering that, feel free to add any additional information that I miss. Alan Carter, Halcyon 250 number 1114, Clinton, Missouri, enjoying a Miller Lite. Good to see you, Alan. Uncle Voodoo, Tom, and I know how to pronounce where you're from. He's from Buena Vista, Virginia, not Buena Vista. He rides a Royal Enfield Continental GT, and he's jacked up on Mountain Dew. Hey, good to see you, Uncle Voodoo. I love that part of the country. I grew up spending a lot of time in the valley near you, Lexington, Steele's Draft, down on the Big Mary's Creek, and the what's the river there? I'm going to totally blank. Big Mary's Creek, and many, many, many fond memories of lots of stuff in that area. Jeff says, I admire Riggedy Alps' commitment. Yes, me too. Yeah, absolutely. Dahoud won, 450 number 157, Dan in, Dan Hood. Hey, Dan, in Central New York, checking in, drinking a 1911 hard cider. Good to see you. Be more dogs chasing a raccoon. Got to take care of that. Okay, take care of that. McLangford, Kelly Chris at Kelly in Winchester, Virginia. How do I get your contact details? Well, let me put in a plug right now for Joel Yanda. Joel has a database, which, Joel, you tell me, where are we sharing that? Have you got that on the owners forum yet? I know it's probably on Facebook, but he's putting together a database for owners with contact information that came out last week, I believe. And so that is an augmentation. It's an addition to, so Charles McGahagan has his owner's map, which is a great way to share where all the bikes are, especially if you don't want to maybe share all your contact information. But it's an opt-in way to just share where you are and what bike you have. However, if you want to share more information with other Janus owners, Joel has put together another database, and it's really neat. I know from experience that several owners have already made great connections on there. We'll leave it at that. But I know you're both in Winchester, so you got to connect and ride together. Do some rambling, and that's some beautiful riding. Can hardly wait for the new bikes to arrive next week. Great, awesome. Straw Dog Rokons are made in Rochester, New Hampshire. There we go. Take it back. Were they made in Vermont for a while? I recently was looking up the whole history of them. I've always kind of wanted a Rokon. Really wonderful machines, and a great story of a small manufacturer, very similar to Janus, that has gone through its share of struggles and turmoil. It's very difficult to manufacture vehicles on a small scale, but they're still doing it. Thanks. Riggedy Alps says, the locals here say that they had a beach erosion and deck chairs damage that led to the beach. Also, there is now a sandbar that wasn't there before compared to the mountains they lucked at here. So he's talking about down at the at Topsail Island. Wow. So on the shore, they did better than up in the mountains. That's wild. Dan says, Mitch sent me to visit a neighbor and show him my Halcyon 450. We talked a couple of hours. He told his brother about it and said they both want Janus. Wonderful. Janus ambassador doing God's work. Mark Gallistel. Welcome to the stream. I don't recognize that name. He says Rokon is essentially a two-wheel mule. Yes, you named you put your finger on it. Charles Selman from San Francisco. Griffin 250 number 124 Aurelius. Fantastic. Sipping a P3 IPA while cleaning the bike after a weekend ramble up and over the Sierras. Wonderful. I've ridden up from San Francisco over the Sierras on a Halcyon 250, number 68, which still needs a name. Bob says, I'll take a look for the pin. It may have gotten in with the other pins. Well, great. I would appreciate it. Jim 240. Good evening, all. Good to see you, Jim. Jeff says, want one autographed in first print. We'll order. Good. Sounds good. Definitely can take care of that. You just let me know. And he says, into RFY. NARAB says, take my word for it. The Rambler's Companion is a good read. Well, thank you. Thank you. I realize I'm catching up with comments from what I've talked about earlier. Jim 240, me too, N9WW. I should PG9. What is it? Now I'm gonna blank on my own. Somebody here. KD9 PGT is my call sign. Whenever I get on, which is rarely anymore. John Gorentz. Rokons are now built in Rochester, New Hampshire. They are now a 4-stroke with plastic tanks and fenders. Mine is a 147cc Chrysler 2-stroke and all steel. Nice. Straw Dog says, John, I stopped into the Rokon shop a year ago. Boy, I'd like to visit the Rokon shop. That'd be really neat. Really neat. Spencer Anderson says, Spencer, Lafayette, Louisiana, met the boys in Sturgis and bought the 250-1123, waiting on word for delivery. Richard? It should be very soon. I know we're building bikes around that number. Let me make a note and we can see about getting you an update. John Garnt says, I'm in southeast Kansas and have the only Rokon I know of in this area and will have the only Janus in the area soon. Wonderful. Justin's on. Justin is one of our salesmen. He says, when it comes to motorcycle puns, I triumph every time. Ooh, nice. Nice, Justin. Let's hear some more. Jeff says, Richard, how far will we get on a Halcyon 250 production this year? 2,000? No, we're not going to get to 2,000. Oh, wait, you mean total units? Still not 2,000. No, we're still in the 1100s. So, I don't know. It's a good question. Maybe over 1,200, I hope. Buy more. JM850 is named Copper. Nice. 68 is a good name itself. It is kind of a good name. And it's been, I've called it that for so long that it's hard for me to change it, but we'll see. We'll see. It may have to have an alternate name. Mitch says, hello from Nashville. Halcyon 1116, sipping on a Crown and Coke. Welcome to the Ramblestream. I don't recognize your handle on here. If you've been on before, my apologies. It's good to see new folks all the time. Jay Stoker says, Fishers, Indiana, not far away. No Janus yet. Multiple bikes in my garage. Just water tonight. Well, welcome to the Ramblestream. You're close enough. You should make a weekend trip up here or come up during the week. If you're free, we'd love to give you a tour. And we have a Discovery Day this weekend. Yeah, we have a Discovery Day this weekend. Last one of the season. Carson Branham, finally catching a live Halcyon 250, number 854. With Motocult Stage 4 Plus and a windshield with canvas headlight wrap. Clocked almost 5,000 miles this summer. Love the bike, sipping some dihydrogen monoxide. Dihydrogen, sorry. Nice. Good to see you on. And that's great, putting on a lot of miles. That's wonderful. Michael Webster says, I'm late, love the stream. Well, again, I don't recognize that handle either, but it's good to have you on it. I'm sure many of the folks that are posting on here, you've probably been on before, but I have semi-functional memory, and also I know some of you don't post all the time, so it's always good to see somebody posting. Racing the Sun, any new product options or upgrades in the works? I haven't adequately prepared to talk about it, but yes, we have lots in the works. I'm working on quite a few. Maybe, how about next week I give you a more in-depth update. Yeah, I'll prepare something more on that. Great question, though. Ben Ferrer, a bit late. Halcyon 450, number 43. Poppy, San Francisco. Drinking water. Wonderful. And I'll just finish off with two more. Tuning in from a job in Kennedy, Texas, says Carson. Heading back to the P&W this week. Fantastic. And last of all, I will add Joel Yanda's comment here. This is in regard to the owner's contact sheet. He says it's only available through an email invite that Danielle sent out 3 weeks ago. I will see if Danielle can resend to everyone. We are keeping everyone's information guarded. So there you go. That's how they're really guarding the information, because we are sharing contact information. I know they have a lot of concern that we make sure that we secure your information. So how about this? If you have a question about being on that list, send me an email and I can definitely get you on there. Richard at Janus Motorcycles. Shoot me an email and I will get you the list, and so that you can contact other Janus owners in your area. Those who, of course, have opted into it. I think that's going to be a great tool as we grow and as more members sign up for it. Okay, let's take another little break here, and we'll talk about flat track. So let's go over to the screen. Oh yeah, there's the 20. There's the William Penn Dubois was a illustrator primarily. I really think he did more illustration than he did writing, and really neat illustrations for a number of children's books as well as other things as well. Let's go ahead and see if I've got these organized correctly. Oh, here's a little quick update. Jeff down here at TT and Neil, who's a new hire doing fabrication down here, have got the fabrication shop back storage room looking like it's a well-organized, well-run shop that it really is. I am located, if you look at the little door here on the lower right of your screen, that's the door to my International Space Station office. So I'm sitting in here, but really cleaned it up. We put in more racking and just cleaned up the whole area. So really getting organized down here. Let's turn off the comment there. And let's move on to flat track. Here we go. So here we have Jordan is here standing up looking very, very bold. And he's sitting next to the guy on the bike. That's Blake Wharton, our racer, and his new bride over here, Courtney. So the whole team, actually including Jordan from our Jordan from Janus Motorcycles, all went out to California this weekend. Jordan is, as he said just now on the stream, he's still driving back from California to. Are you going to Texas or Tennessee, Jordan? I can't remember, but probably back to Texas at this point. So it's quite an operation to get out there. They did very, very well. And here's the bike. It got a lot of attention. They said that there's a great deal of interest in these kind of, one-off, or not one-off, but like hand-built bikes out there. So did really well. Let's see if I can actually. There he is, getting ready to start. So the class that we were able to race in, we're still figuring out the classes, getting everything dialed in, but we were able to race in the open class.
We've got a real battle for first, second, and third going. A change out there.
We're always just trying to make a difference in this world.
I do apologize if any of that audio is hard to hear or you couldn't hear it, but that was Blake Wharton on the Griffin 450 flat track bike, making a pass right on the last lap for second place. So we've got some time slips up here, and basically what you're seeing here is this is the super hooligan class. So these guys are running big bikes. They're running Indians and bigger bikes. And you look at that time over there, 11:002. And here we go. Here's the Run What Ya Brung class, which we were able to run in. Blake Wharton, 11.241. So he was really putting down some fantastic times. We just weren't able to race in that class based on the fact that we had a single cylinder and it's a traditional twin shock bike. We're working more into the details of that and figuring out more classes that we can race in, but this was a wonderful chance. This is an event that was put on by Roland Sands, Roland Sands is a huge name in the motorcycle industry. He has a massive operation making aftermarket parts, performance parts, apparel, you name it, he's making it and selling it. And he's based out of Southern California, and he puts on this event. And so we got to see him. He got to see the bike. We got to be in front of a lot of folks. There will be a lot more information on this event coming out. What you're seeing there are videos that were texted to me by the guys over the weekend. So if that video was terrible quality, it's okay. We will have more videos. Jordan was out there with a video rig, so we will be sharing a lot more information on that in the coming days and weeks. So, overall, though, we were extremely impressed. My take on it. I'll wait and see if Jordan has anything to add to that. But we did overheat the brakes, the rear brake, pretty good. So we want to work on that. The gearing was a little off for the event, so I think Blake is pretty confident that he could do much better with more work on the bike. And you really just need to run it to get there. So the practice laps and the race were a really good opportunity for us to start really digging into that. I mean, as you can see, it's a short lap. I mean, very, very quick lap on asphalt. So obviously a smaller displacement bike is an advantage there. If that track were longer, those big twins and, we weren't racing against twins, but larger 450 bikes would have maybe been a little bit more of an advantage. But maybe this is the kind of event we need to be focusing on. Overall, really good info there. I'm going to scroll ahead and see if Jordan has any extra comments on the. Not yet. Okay. Blake is on the texting. He says, should we get on the Ramblestream to talk the event soon? Yes, you should. We will do it. If you want to, we can do it next week. We can get both Blake and Jordan on. So, guys, I know you're watching. Let's next week get on the stream and we can talk all about it. And that would be really, really great because they're going to do a much better job filling you all in than I am because I wasn't there. I was doing some rambling, a little different than racing. And right. Okay, next up, are we changing gears already? Yes, we are. We're going to talk a little bit about some new fun. Here you go. Here's an update and option for you, Felix Brothers. This is a new special edition build that we're doing, which we have chosen to call the Fort Goshen, which there was never a Fort Goshen. There actually was a Fort Bean here in Goshen, Indiana, back in the frontier days. Never a Fort Goshen, but has a kind of a military theme. But this is a flat olive drab bike, very much in the vein of the military. It's a military themed bike, classic look, skirted fenders. It's got just a big white star instead of the Janus logo, and then here, let's zoom in on here you go. It's got a kind of stenciled Janus MC Goshen, Indiana, and then it'll have the date, which is pretty cool. And then of course you can put the serial number will be on the front, but it will be it'll use a stenciled font instead of the standard font. So this is a nice package. It comes with the windscreen, leather skirt, and let's see if there's anything else. No pinstripe because it's gotta have that military look. So neat looking build that is now available on the website. Go check out the site and check it out for yourself. Also available with the 250. So same basic setup, olive drab flat, frame matched of course, saddle brown leather, windscreen, great looking bike. There's a detail shot of it. Can't wait to see these come out. If you have any questions on this, let me know. Okay. Also, while we're at it, let's talk about, this is for all new builds, we're doing 40% off all options. Although we're also opening up to you all 50% options and upgrades on new builds ahead of our Black Friday sale. So if anybody's on here thinking about a bike, here's a ticket. Send us an email, get a hold of us, and say you've seen it here. We're doing 50% on Black Friday ahead of the Black Friday sale. 50% off options and upgrades. Let me make sure Mitch sent me a message on this. Also, I'm forgetting. Glad you reminded me, Mitch. For the flat track theme, we're also offering a limited edition flat track race replica bikes. This is going to be limited to 10 motorcycles. They will be road legal, but they will also, the flat track guys are working on some performance modifications for that you can actually have the bike kitted out to race spec. That will not be a road legal motorcycle if you choose to do so. If it will be for race use only, but we are offering these as a race replica for road use. It'll be registerable, but it'll have the same look and feel as our race bike here. Let's go back and take a peek at it because it looks fantastic. So same seat. It will have a standard exhaust, not the race exhaust, because we're not going to modify the performance. It has to be road legal, emissions compliant. But then we will be offering for a non-road use race version of this through the flat track guys. Number plate and everything like that will be part of the package. If you have more questions on that, please send us an email or give us a call. Okay, back to the next thing. Next thing. Let's take a look at some more comments before we do that. Let's see. Lo-Fi by Nature says, tuning in from Southwest Michigan, looking forward to this Saturday's Discovery Day. My wife and I will be there. Fantastic. I recognize your name from the Ramblestream, and it's really good to see that you'll be here. That's wonderful. Mitch says, okay, here we go. Janus sales rep, extraordinaire, Phoenix 250, number 53, Herbie, and he's drinking a Two Hearted. Good to see you, Mitch. If I mess anything up there with the specials, chime in, let us know. Uncle Voodoo says, we always refer to what you call rambling as bimbling. If I get a Janus, I dub it bimble. There you go. Well, all you got to do is get a Janus. Come on up. Multifarious says, Spencer, that's a Fibonacci bike. Nice. Dan says, when I lived in Las Vegas, I took my Rokon for a swim in Lake Mead. Yep, they float. Mine I named Old Ironsides. Nice. Jim 240, Halcyon 450 number 300, Bucky bike should be here tomorrow or Wednesday. Nice. Great. Chris Smith just got back from our monkey cannonball. Okay, you are another guy that I want to have on the Ramblestream, Chris. Let's talk about getting you on here. I know you do podcasts. So this should be old hat to you. I'm just making a note there. Chris, I am anxious to hear about how the monkey cannonball. So Chris and a bunch of buddies from the motorcycle, what is it called? What is it? Cleveland Moto podcast took a bunch of monkey bikes, Honda monkeys, and did you all ride across the country? They did some crazy stuff, at least, and I want the update. So, Chris, let's talk. I'll send you an email. MacGyver55. Hey, Richard. Randy Hedden, Halcyon. Oh, hey, Randy. 187. Travel now from New Hampshire with new Lady Halcyon 489 250 named Ruby. Wonderful. Good to see you. Spencer Anderson, 581321. So it must be something with the Fibonacci. Okay. Jeff says, no knobbies on 731. Are street tires better on the dirt? Let's see. Are you talking about... Oh, you're talking about he's talking about the flat track bike. So those are not knobbies. Those are flat track tires. So let's just go over here and I'll share the screen again. So this is a great opportunity for us to talk about one of our sponsors. These are made by Hoosier Tire. These are called flat track tires. This is a pattern that's common all across flat track racing. They're primarily designed for dirt tracks. However, they do pretty well on asphalt, and people are running all different kinds of classes. There was actually a knobby tire class, which would not be as good on asphalt. Yeah, you can see they were getting into those corners. These are flat track tires. Yep. Oh, he says, never mind. I see it's to pavement. Yeah, but those are primarily, that's what you see running on dirt track as well. Joel says, to clarify, Danielle sent the email invite to all Janus owners and will be sent to new owners as bikes are sold. You must sign up for the Google document to join the Ramblers contact list. Yes, indeed. Got to be an owner. Jordan Lake's on. He says, what an amazing weekend. We feel we can knock almost a second off motor. Still had a lot left in it. Unbelievable attention at the track, and it really held its own. So there you go. There's the update from Jordan, but we will get a more in-depth one next week from Jordan Lake and Blake Orton, if y'all are available at 7 o'clock Monday night to ramble. Carson says, stenciling is awesome on the WLA dress. Nice. Great. Perry says, hey, Richard, Perry from Fort Worth, Texas, Halcyon 250 number 884. Put in for vacation next year. We'll finally make the owners rally. Wonderful. Well, I'll look forward to seeing you then. Okay, last up, it is now, oh my goodness. Oh, pretty good timing, actually. Last up, I'll talk about a little ramble I did over the weekend. Let me just cue it up here. Oh, ramble and history lesson. So we went up to northern Michigan. This is Harbor Springs, Michigan. A beautiful fall rambling walk, actually a ramble. We went on here up on the bluff looking over the town, and trailered up with a buddy of mine, Doug, who has Halcyon 250 number 15. So number 15 and number 68 have done this ride quite a bit. Actually, we've ridden this ride a number of years in a row. If you have ever seen our video called the Janus Motorcycles Feature List here on YouTube, that route that we're riding as I'm reading the feature list, that is Michigan 119, M119, also known as the Tunnel of Trees. And I have put in the description below this video a link to that video if you want to check it out. So it's a fantastic, the road is pretty rough, although a lot of the road that we rode in that video that was really, really rough, they've just repaved and it's so smooth and it's a lot of fun. So we had a blast. It was not as cold as it was the last time I made that ride, so it was really ideal. Beautiful fall day. Here I am. Can't really see the bike, but that's number 68. There's number 68 and number 15, parked side by side, across from Legs Inn, which is one of my favorite spots to get a beer and some good food. If you're familiar with Cross Village, Michigan, M119. M119 is really one of my favorite rambles in the world to go on. It's along the shore of Lake Michigan. Tiny, twisty road, covered with trees. Absolutely beautiful. Some more shots. Took a break by the water. Saw a great blue heron. All kinds of fun stuff. And then, as got to talk about boats a little bit, if you have the excuse. And this, the Harbor Springs Historical Society had a great little exhibit on the NM, and the NM is a boat that I have grown up going up there and sailing, and actually learned to sail and taught sailing in Harbor Springs. And there are, actually, I'm not 100% positive how many NMs there are, either 27 or 28 NMs. And these are boats that were designed in the 30s specifically for this area to be raced both in over in Charlevoix and in Harbor Springs. In the 60s, the Charlevoix fleet kind of petered out, and so most of the boats that were over there ended up coming over to Harbor Springs. Most of the boats are still in working order. They're originally, it's a wooden, absolutely, it's one of the most beautiful boats you can find. Just a fantastic boat, and as I say, most of them are still in operation, and they are raced every Sunday during the summer. And they had a great little exhibit on the history of the NM, which means Northern Michigan One Design Sloop. So here's a little story about it. Designed in 1934 by Russell Pulio, who's a rambler on his own. He was a racer and a sailor based out of Detroit. Here are some guys, including Dave Irish, who's the inheritor of the Irish Boat Shop, which is the main boat shop up in Harbor Springs. I taught sailing. I worked for the founder of Irish Boat Shop's granddaughter. There they are, building some more boats. Here's a little model and then this is a photograph I took of a NM sailing. This is taken off my little boat, which is not a beautiful wooden boat. It's a fiberglass, still attractive boat, but nowhere near as beautiful as an NM. And they were shooting by me at a much higher rate of speed. And I think I have a video here too. Let's see if this actually. Yeah, shot that video while we were sailing in this amazing fog bank that the NM was sailing out of. Just incredible. Yeah. Anyway, there's a little bit of history on sailboats, which is, of course, if you're familiar with Rambling and the Rambler's Companion, you know that sailing is definitely a form of rambling, especially as we do it today, especially in small boats. So I have to include a little bit about that. And then last of all, I thought I'd share we were up in northern Michigan during this incredible aurora borealis, so I thought I'd share some photographs we took. It was wild. I've never seen, it's probably been 20 years since I saw them up there in Michigan, and far, far clearer. This is not a cloud. This is a geomagnetic storm. Now, some of these photographs are taken with, an iPhone with a long exposure, so it wasn't quite this vivid, but absolutely visible with the naked eye. Look at that. And toward the end of the evening, you could just see it like rippling all over the sky. It was just really, really fast and incredible. So there you have it. There you have it. Okay, well, that's a pretty good timing if I say so myself, 7:59. Let's see if I can. Yeah, that was the last picture too. So there you have it. We got one last comment here from John Hiss. 1119 received bike last week. Time for first oil change. Thanks again, John. He's in Idaho. Well, wonderful. Thank you all for joining me this Monday night for another Ramblestream. I will be back next week, and I hope the week after that. So we'll settle in for a more regular scheme. We'll have, I hope, the Flat Track boys on the stream next week, and then possibly, if I can talk him into it, we'll get Chris Smith on the week after that to talk about his monkey cannonball, which definitely is rambling if it ever was a thing. So there you have it. N8RAB heard the 10M band went dead with that. the 10-meter band went dead with that geomagnetic storm. Yeah, I was actually up there and thinking, man, I should have my ham radio because I wonder what's happening. I wonder how it's affecting, if I could get longer reception or not. I don't know enough about it to know, but I'm sure it would definitely affect radio signal. Keith says, thank you and good night. Russell Peters, hey Russell, good night all. Well, good night everybody. It's been a pleasure having you all on. This has been a fun one. I hope you've enjoyed it. Come back next week and we'll do it all again. See you later.